Alright, let's talk about Harlowe in Borderlands 4, because she's not just that support Vault Hunter everyone first thought she'd be. Sure, her Chroma Accelerator and Flux Generator builds can melt bosses in seconds, but what if you're not always chasing raid clears or giant health bars? That's where her blue skill tree 0 Point really shines. It might not pack the same one-shot potential as her other builds, but man, when it comes to clearing mobs and staying consistent, 0 Point is hands down her most reliable setup. In this video, we're diving straight into the best Harlowe 0 Point build, breaking down why it's such a solid pick for players who love fast-paced, non-stop action. Whether you're farming enemies, handling wave after wave, or just wanting a build that never leaves you then hanging in the middle of a fight, 0 Point has got your back. Stick around, because by the end of this breakdown, you'll see why this build deserves just as much attention as Harlowe's boss melting setups. I'm quickly
very small
moving
portion
on to
of the
video.
audience is
Before we
subscribed
start,
to the channel.
If you enjoy these types of list
don't
videos,
forget to
don't
subscribe
forget
if
to
you
like
like
the
these
video
types of
and
videos.
subscribe. Enjoy watching.
Thanks.
Alright, let's dive into the 0 Point Harlowe build. This build is all about clearing mobs efficiently while keeping yourself safe. And honestly, it's a blast to play. We're going to break down every skill and show you why Harlowe becomes a total crowd control machine here. First up, parallel circuit. Harlowe gains increased gun damage whenever you trigger or re-trigger an action skill. With this build, you're practically always using 0 Point, so you get a solid 30% gun damage boost just for playing normally. That's free damage every time you engage. Next, we have periodic table flip. This skill boosts elemental damage, status effect application chance, and cryo effectiveness. It's super handy when you pair radiation with cryo because it makes your elemental combos hit harder and apply effects more reliably. More status, more fun. Cryo dynamics is simple but effective. You get increased cryo damage, which is crucial since this build leans heavily into cryo for both damage and survivability. Every shot counts and every freeze matters. Then comes 2 coolant for schoolant. It's only 1 point, but every time you deal cryo damage, your action skill cooldown rate increases. Basically, spam those cryo weapons and your action skill is back faster than ever. Efficiency for the win. Ripple effect is a kill skill you absolutely love. Kill one entangled enemy and another nearby enemy gets entangled automatically. Entangle, kill, repeat. This keeps the crowd control going without you lifting a finger. It's basically a chain reaction of chaos. Pulse drive is next, another cooldown boost. This skill helps you reduce the time between 0 Point uses even further. Pair it with 2 coolant for schoolant, and you'll be triggering action skills almost constantly. Inertia is an augment that really sets this build apart. Whenever a stasis affected enemy dies, a new enemy is automatically added to stasis. Plus, your action skill duration resets, although it drains a bit faster. It creates this beautiful loop of stasis management and skill uptime that feels so satisfying. Keep ice. That is where the survival aspect kicks in. All cryo damage you deal grants lifesteal, and if your health is full, you get an overshield instead. This feeds into other skills that scale with overshield, turning you into a near unstoppable machine against mobs. Unstable isotope is another kill skill, giving you bonus cryo damage from all sources. It might sound small, but when combined with ripple effect and triple point, it starts to add up into massive crowd damage. Every kill fuels the next one. Cold Plunge, the capstone, is a personal favorite. Slamming an enemy creates a singularity, followed by a cryo explosion. Slams are already strong, but now they control the battlefield even more while dealing absurd damage. It feels like you're literally bending space and freezing time. Flash Freeze is super straightforward. Every time you deal cryo damage with an action skill, you gain a chance to freeze enemies. Freeze status is huge here. It lets you chain damage safely and efficiently without getting overwhelmed. Triple Point synergizes perfectly. Non-cryo damage on entangled enemies deals bonus cryo damage, and cryo damage on entangled enemies deals even more bonus damage. Basically, keep them entangled and everything you hit becomes a cryo missile. Main's hum is all about staying alive. Maximum shield and overshield are boosted, which is great because this build constantly gives you overshield from cryo damage. More shield means more survivability while you keep dishing out damage. Neutron decay really shines with radiation weapons. Whenever you irradiate an enemy, you gain increased gun damage. Stack this effect up to 5 times and you're looking at a 50% gun damage increase. That's huge for EAD clearing potential. Creative Overflow is the icing on the cake for damage. Gun damage increases based on overshield, and thanks to keep ice on that, you'll almost always have some overshield to play with. This can give you up to 36% extra damage, making your guns hit like tanks. Finally, Field Ready Prototype and Elementary round it out. Field Ready Prototype increases action skill damage, while Elementary boosts elemental and status effect damage. Both of these skills just reinforce the playstyle. Spam 0 point, freeze and entangle enemies, irradiate them, and keep your damage rolling non-stop. So there you have it. The 0 point Harlowe build is simple, satisfying, and extremely fun. It shines against mobs with its looping mechanics, crowd control, and raw damage. Bosses might give you a bit more trouble, but when it comes to ad clearing, nothing comes close to this. For the 0 point Harlowe build, you absolutely need radiation and cryo weapons. That's why we're using the plasma coil, an SMG that fires radiation bullets with an insanely fast fire rate and reload speed. You can farm this one from the Timekeeper in Upper Dominion. It's perfect for keeping constant damage flowing while you're spamming your action skill. For cryo damage, Aegon's Dream is the go-to choice. This assault rifle fires both incendiary and cryo bullets, making it super versatile for elemental combos. You can farm it from Horus in Horus's Oversight, Hungering Plain in the Fade Fields. It pairs perfectly with your cryo-focused skills to maximize damage and status effects. Now, if we talk heavy hitters, nothing beats the Heavy Weapon Ordnance. This is arguably the most important weapon for the build, dealing insane damage while also regenerating ammo, thanks to Harlowe's skills and shield. We like the rocket socket variant because it fires double rockets and can roll with cryo, but Jelly is also solid. It's a grenade launcher that can roll with radiation and can be farmed from Splash Zone in the Riptide Grotto, coastal bonescape of the Fade Fields. For shields, the Super Soldier Shield is a must-have. Farmed from Vile Lictor in the Umbral Foundry, Windspear, Terminus range, this shield fills energy shields with Overshield, boosting Harlowe's passive skills. When it's full, it increases fire rate, movement speed, and even passively regenerates 1 ammo per second, which is great for heavy weapon usage. We also went with the Skeptic class mod, farmed from Callus the Ripper Queen at Mooncalled Throne, Fallen Crown, Carcadia Burn. This mod is amazing because it lets Harlowe use her action skill to slam enemies, firing radiation and cryo darts that track enemies. Plus, shooting enemies affected by a status effect restores action skill cooldown. Skeptic also unlocks key skills without spending points, letting Harlowe critically hit enemies to put them into stasis without having to invest in the full skill tree. Lastly, don't forget cosmetic or utility gear that helps your mobility and damage. The shiny war paint rep kit from the Meathead Riders at the Old Scrape Ripper Drill site, Cuspid Climb, Terminus range, boosts fire rate and the movement speed, keeping Harlowe fast and lethal. Enhancements are flexible, so pick one that complements your weapon choice or just adds some extra fun to your playstyle. Let's talk specializations for the 0 point Harlowe build. Specializations are unlocked after finishing the campaign, and you earn points just like regular experience. There's no level cap, so you can invest heavily to get all the perks you want. First up is Riddle You This. By putting 20 points into Brute, every time you deal gun damage, you gain a stack of this perk, which boosts gun damage. Stack it up and you're looking at a passive 50% increase to gun damage just by shooting. That's huge for both general damage and ad clearing. Next, we recommend investing 10 points into both Sharpshooter and Runner, which allows you to put 20 points into Daredevil. This opens up 2 amazing perks, I Am a Gun and a Honed Mind. I Am a Gun makes your action skill damage benefit from gun damage increases, which works perfectly with Harlowe's looping action skill playstyle. A Honed Mind is a game changer for action skills. With this perk, your action skills gain a chance to critically hit enemies and also deal increased action skill critical hit damage. That means your 0 point slams and cryo combos become even deadlier when enemies start dropping left and right. Finally, we come to Bullet Train. This perk is more of a quality of life and mobility boost. You gain gun damage the faster you move, plus you can hip fire while sprinting. It's a solid choice to round out the build, keeping Harlowe mobile while still hitting hard. Specializations require a significant point investment, but for 0 point Harlowe, it's totally worth it. Starting with Brute, moving into Sharpshooter and Runner for Daredevil, and finishing with Bullet Train gives you maximum damage, potential, and synergy with your action skills. After that, you can mix and match other perks to taste. but this setup is where the build really shines. Let's dive into the best firmware choices for 0-point Harlowe. Firmwares are a key part of the build because they enhance action skills and ordnance usage, making Harlowe even more effective at clearing mobs. First, we highly recommend using free firmware slots for GU UFJC. This firmware increases action skill cooldown rate by a total of 30% and boosts action skill damage by 15%. Since Harlowe's action skill is central to both damage and survivability, this firmware essentially makes her spam 0-point more often while hitting harder. For the final two slots, you have some flexibility depending on your preferred playstyle. We opted for Gadget Ahoy twice because it reduces ordnance cooldown duration by 15% and increases ordnance damage by 20%. This is perfect if you like using heavy weapons or explosives alongside your action skill. Overall, this firmware setup keeps Harlowe's action skill up almost constantly while boosting damage, making her a relentless mob clearing machine. Whether you stick with ordnance or choose other options for the last two slots, GU FJC is a must-have for this build. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.